Hello. Just testing my mic. Since it's been a while since I've been streaming, I just want to be sure all my setup is still working. But hey guys, nice to be back. It's 2019. We're into the future. We all made it, which is awesome. Since the last time we talked to you, a lot happened actually. Many great things and cool things. So I'm quite happy to be able to share with you. So first off, one of the first news is actually the for my printer. I had the photon, which wait, I'm gonna switch this mode for a few seconds, and I'm just gonna show you the goodies. Yeah, give me a second. So let me grab this. So basically, this guy, just before the holidays, I really wanted to print some models really badly. But yeah, it started to go to be quite confused, and well, basically it was just failing every time. My printer was rebooting, and yeah, every time I wanted to print something, it was 1%, and then it would reboot. So I had no way to actually print something. So after doing a lot of QC with is it QC or QA with any cubic, we find out that the issue was actually the main board. So I switched the main board, which I got during the holidays, replaced it, and then ta-da! It worked out. So what I did with that, let me just put this back. Wait a second. So with that, basically I had the chance to print exactly. Basically, I wanted to see how big I could actually go with the kind of model I was actually doing. So I kind of find this head, which is I don't know if it can actually frame. Wait, I'm just gonna or focus at least. Wait, I just want to be sure the focus catch it. Yeah, we can barely see it, but I'm just gonna spin it around. Maybe with the lighting of the monitors, we'll see. And basically, I'm quite happy with the result that I got. It's not perfect as a print because you can't see underneath some of the, yeah, we can barely see it. But over here, there's some of the supports, and even on the ears, we had some support errors. Basically, when I was cutting them with my clippers, it wasn't, it kind of roughed up the surface. So yeah, so it's stuff to be improved. And of course, I sanded the whole bottom to remove all of the support, so we got something really clean. And that's one of the things you guys probably won't see it, but inside of it, oh maybe inside of it, there's supports, and that's one of the things that actually help out quite a bit of the mesh when you print them. It's not something that I did myself. I used the software called Flash Print. I'm just gonna show you quickly. I got it open. It's free, and it's basically, I can't remember which company was making it. I guess it's Flash Forge. Yeah, I guess the company's called Flash Forge, and they got different type of printers. And basically, what's cool about it is see, that's the Ed that by the way, Vimal Karaketa. I hope I'm not butchering his name, but he made it. Basically, I did not make that, and I just felt this level of detail was perfect to test out the printers because we got all the skin pores and stuff like that. So I generated the supports, but like I've said, automatically when you do that, it's kind of straightforward. You got auto support. It will create supports inside of that. One of the annoying part is this is all automated, so and to go work inside of it, I still got yet to find how to do it. I don't know if some of you know how to do it. Sorry, how to do that. But yeah, I still need to figure this out. And same thing with the ground. For some reason, I find it so annoying. I cannot create supports from under the ground, which yeah, it's quite annoying. If I wanted to go in, like there, let's just say, and then try to create a support. doesn't really work out. But yeah, the software is quite good. It used like they call it like the tree support, which is just like a tree with leaves. And basically, it's like Y kind of shape, but it's more efficient when you auto generate. And then you remove what you don't need, and then you go ahead. For the head that I was like, well, wait a second. I'm talking about the software. I'm not even like showing you the software. Wait a second. Okay, here you go. I keep talking and you can only see my face, so it's kind of silly. But yeah, it's called Flash Forge, and the software is called Flash Print. And yeah, like I was like saying, that's a model, but all the skin pores. And right now, you guys probably didn't see it on my webcam, but yeah, you cannot feel like really any kind of skin pores, or even like we see like finer wrinkles, but they're like so subtle. So definitely something like to do when you print out your stuff. Maybe you want to put like all of that extra uh, uh, as an extra layer, and just like instead of going like only with one kind of micro surface detail intensity, maybe I will multiply by 2 or 3 just to be sure it really picks up, because in the end, like, it get so many of this get washed out. Even on my print, like, you can still see like some of those things, but yeah, many of that details get kind of washed away. So I would definitely, like, maybe you want to leave like a version like that if you want to just like post it on our station or somewhere like that. But yeah, if it's for printing, then I would definitely amplify the. It's really more the surface detail, the actual volumes of all of that stuff, like nose and all that. It reads pretty well. But yeah, it's like the finer things. So what I wanted to show was like the inside of the model, the supports. So see, like it's yeah, like I was mentioning, but just before I was like showing my face. It's like I wasn't like able like to made them myself, just because like the simple thing is like this is had, I'm trying like to for uh, I just said I could not, but maybe I can. It's weird. Like the last time I tried it out, it wouldn't work out. But yeah, you see like what I mean by 3. Like you got like those kind of Y kind of shape, which is basically it's as strong as just like the regular scaffolding, but it used like a far less supports or even resin to create them. So yeah, that's definitely something to try out. Is like try to fill in with like supports inside, and of course like the Drano, since I'm actually using like liquid printers. I mean UV resin liquid printers. It needs like a place where the air can actually get out. So yeah, so that's where I usually put one. And outside of that, was there something else I wanted to talk about though? Yeah, like for the drain holes, or even like the layer thickness, like overall, because like you can see like the head is actually hollow. I actually do all the hollowing inside of the the software called Mesh Mixer, which is an Autodesk free software. And yeah, you maybe not tonight, because that's the thing. Like I'm that's another thing I want to show you. I'm like working on something else, and like you see, like it doesn't take much on my computer to start freezing. But yeah, if you get a chance, like try out the software. If not, then there's another one called I just like installed it this morning, but I heard like it's pretty cool. It's called Shitlu. I hope I'm pronouncing it all right, but I'm just gonna try to show you the icon if I can find it. No, it's Shitu box. Well, wait, I'm just gonna show you the icon of the. It's this one, Shitu box 64, and I got Cura, which is Ultimaker, I think, software. Which, yeah, that's another one that maybe you want to go for. Some people use like B9 Creator. I don't personally. That's the thing. Like right now, I'm like experimenting with so many things at the same time that I barely have like at the time. There's like Mesh Lab and the mesh mixer that I was like talking about for the hollowing. So, and you'll see like you can. There's many of the steps that you can do in many different softwares, and I mean like it's to some extent sometimes it's just like for a personal reference, but yeah. So yeah, just to wrap up like the thing with the head, that's pretty much like the biggest size I could go for, and right now my other goal, which is like a little bit more ambitious, and that's like one of the things that it's really awesome during the holidays. I like the chance to have like a really special gift, if I can call that. I'm just gonna go full screen, but I'm gonna show you like my other little friend. So yeah, I'm not gonna leave it there, but basically it's a Pio Poli Moai, and yeah, I already like started to test out the prints and all, and one of the great thing is like it's got like a bigger print, I guess like surface. So yeah, so definitely I'm gonna be like outputting like a lot more prints out of this one. But yeah, I just wanted to show you like what I was working for 2019. So yeah, I won't like leave it there because it's pretty heavy. And so yeah, so basically, and what's cool is like it's a resin UV resin printer as well. So basically, all the treatment that I do like in just before or even in the post, like to clean up everything, it's gonna be the same thing. And that's one of the things that I might do at some point because right now it's right now I'm streaming on the Zbrush live channel, and it's like I try to focus my stuff mainly in software and mainly in Zbrush. But perhaps like I might do at some point like because just next to me like on the other side of the door just next to me, it's basically my garage, and that's where I do like all the post treatment, like cleaning up with like alcohol and sanding and all of that stuff. So maybe at some point I'll once I finish like one of the actual sculpture that I'm doing on the ZBrush live, I will probably like show you guys what I do like as post treatment, because it's cool to see ZBrush and all, but it's cool to see as well as the full circle of it. So while wait, I've switched back to ZBrush, but I wanted to show you just the last thing before I stop like just showing off. Like I keep like for a year I keep saying I want to upgrade my computer, but I made like my first step, and I I kind of bought the Rockstrix X99. So basically, I'm going like Threadripper, and with like the second gen that just came out. But yeah, for some of you who wonder like what kind of hardware I'm building up, for it, you don't need like something super extreme for 3D printing. It's still quite kind of pretty forgiving. I mean, like for to do supports or cleaning up, prepping everything. I would say like it's maybe like the Boolean aspect, which might be like sometimes like troublesome, because yeah, it takes like a lot of CPU, and yeah, oftentimes like even my meshes they just crash completely because um, they I don't have like enough CPU. So yeah, that might be like something like to think about if you're thinking about upgrading. So I I just want to test something really quick, because I think I started Zbrush, but I think I completely forgot to reset the Wacom. Like I'm gonna show you like maybe a little trick if you guys are not aware of it. Like oftentimes when you start Zbrush, sometimes and when you're using like a Wacom, um, basically you you start it and you got like a pop-up saying no services available, and basically that means that your Wacom pressure and sensitivity doesn't work anymore. And yeah, like many people find like quite annoying, and I definitely get that. One of the thing that you need to do, it's basically you start your By the way, guys, I didn't forget you in the question in the comments. Like I'll get back at you in a few seconds. I just want to wrap this up. Like I'll go over all my chatting before I start answering questions. So you start the task manager, and for some annoying reason, like my Windows is actually in French, which I don't know why, but it wasn't on purpose. But I guess I was too lazy to change it. But you go into services. Right now I'm running on Windows 7, but Windows 10 is pretty much the same thing. And then you go down to, and I think even like Windows 10 is even better because you got like a restart over here, which over here I don't have. And you just do like stop services with the Wacom Tablet Service Pro, and then you just like do start, and then that should be it. You can close it down and then restart ZBrush again. So while it's starting, before I start everything, while I will be prepping everything, I wanted to show you my artist of the stream, which is a sculptor that I really like his style, and I think he's really talented and all. He's called Alvaro Ribeiro. So yeah, if you get a chance like to look up at his stuff, I think he used to be like a team lead or art director at many big companies like Prime, XM, and yeah, he worked on really cool stuff. So you can find him on ArtStation, Echo Chronos, or his Facebook. And I think he streamed like quite a bit, but the only thing is like I think it's mainly in Portuguese. So all of you and my Portuguese friends, oh man, that looks badass. Um, you know, you can clearly reach out to him through his streams, and yeah, I'm sure there's like so many good stuff in there. I wish I could actually understand Portuguese. And Instagram page. So, and once again, this one is like Alvaro.3D, and then this one is just like Alvaro Ribeiro. So, okay, this is it. I'm still like waiting for ZBrush to start, which I'm just gonna close Flash Print now that I've covered this. So I'm just gonna head back to questions. Okay, so my first question was, I was wondering where do you work and what's your job title? Currently I work at Ubisoft Quebec City, which is the studio where they made Assassin's Creed Odyssey, well basically the latest one, and I work there as a character artist. Um, Hi Aries. Is it? Yeah, it's Aries, right? Lopez. Um, okay. So, Ari, oh, I'm not like butchering your name, but Aravindan from India. You'd like to know more about textures in ZBrush? You mean like, I guess you must be meaning like not surface detail, but really like actual texturing, like image projection on mesh or poly painting. It's yeah. Yeah, eventually I'd like to do that, but as of right now, since I'm mainly focused on like 3D printing stuff, like I'll just it will be mainly sculpting and slicing and also. So yeah, it's but yeah, I know that that's one of the things that I might like eventually try out on the stream is actually the whole basically like the Grassetti kind of technique, but like I think it's like one of these latest tutorial that I saw at work. It's sorry about that. It's basically he's doing like poly paint at the same time as sculpting. So like you define forms with color and stuff like that. It's like it's I think it's an interesting approach. It reminds me a lot of a instead of like a draftsman who would be would be doing basically like the pencil sketch before painting. He just like goes in with paint and then just like start like moving paint around up until he actually finds like what he wants. So yeah, I think that's clearly a cool technique. I should probably invest more time trying to be good at it. So if I finish up the question, hey, what's up, Polyfusion? Okay, cool. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, if you guys like feel that there's like stuff that you'd like to go for me like more in depth, I'm still, I'm so far from being an expert. I'm just like trying out stuff and trying like to pick up as much as I can like along the way, or even by talking to others that are like far more better than me at that stuff. But yeah, basically, I'm trying like to see like how I can make the stuff look good in 3D print. So yeah, if there's like stuff you would like me like to go over and I guess elaborate or show like in some other ways like outside of ZBrush, that's clearly something that I can do. You just basically you just need like to reach out to me, like just ask, and if there's like enough people, then yeah, man, it will be my pleasure just to do it. I'm doing it anyway, so why not record it? But yeah. So give online job site. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Um. Oh wow. Okay. You mean like recent surface? You mean like a damn? You should share it. How can I get a hold of that? I think I'll put it like in one of the bottom one of the buttons at the bottom of the taskbar. Yeah, definitely like because Polyfusion says that he made like um, a bat file or an exe file, basically like just to do a reset Wacom tablet surfaces. So yeah, I think that's something I'd like to get a hold on. Um, hey, what's up, Eduardo? Hello, Kitten Bricks. Uh, coffee, coffee, coffee. Oh yeah. What's up, Montreal Wolf? So much monsters. Yeah, always. Okay, it's awesome. So, wait, I'm just like trying to catch up with the message. I will jump like on the sculpting as soon as I finish wrapping this up, just to be sure like I'm not missing out on anyone. And oh, you want to see? Okay, like Mr. Keen X, basically want to see the topology of it. Watch out, you're gonna be quite scared because right now the main goal of this is not like about topology at all because this will not be um, well, first off, there's like two things. There's like for printing, the need for like a clean topology is a lot more absent. But the thing is, that being said, like I'll try to keep still like, clean topology just because of surface deformation. So that's why I like stuff like that I'm because once again, just to put you back in context, I know that it's a mesh from 2018, so I don't expect you guys to remember everything that was done to that mesh. But basically, if I just bring back some of the other detail. What I do is like I do a really rough kind of clay sculpt, and and from there I start extracting parts, and then I'll make them like topology clean, just like those. If I click on it, they'll just like lower the poly count. Because once the reason is like I want to have like that perfect surface even more with our surface, so that's why I'll do that. And one of the things is like right now you see like the topology is quite messy, and the problem is with like a messy topology, it doesn't follow. Well, you can add like a whole lot, a crazy amount of topology, and just to have like I mean, not topology but polygons, just to have like something more cleaner. But still, see like all the steps and all, it's super messy. But yeah, for the level that I'm working on right now, just to define parts, I don't really mind. But yeah, you'll see if you hold on a little bit, like during this stream, you'll see what I'll do with that. But but yeah, it's like basically that's the reason why I work this way is really because I don't like putting constraints on basically my creativity. It feels so artsy fartsy then, but yeah, it's just because like this I don't really care much about topology. I just like try to make it cool visually as a volume, and then once I find like something that is interesting as a volume, then I'll I will clean it up. So right now, that's one of the things. Right now, it's I'm forcing myself to stay like a whole lot more in ZBrush, but usually I don't go to that extent. Using ZBrush only, especially with hard surface parts, it's just like more kind of a test because it's a little bit slower. Because usually I switch between many other software, and sometimes it goes faster. But at the same time, by doing this, it's forced me like to find ways to
Oh
new
yeah.
ways to work. Which okay, so I should better stop talking right now and then focus a little bit more on my stuff. So just to tell you right now, I'm gonna extract. Um, Sorry, I'm just like getting back into my software. I'm just like trying to find my buttons again. So yeah, basically I'll put zero thickness extract. So I just wait, extract, and then accept. Then I can isolate this. And usually, if for some reason it always like takes more than what I need, so I'll just like remove this, and then I'll group mask, then isolate that mask, delete it. In. Thanks for the follow, by the way. I just like heard that nice sound to my ears. So, and one of the things you can do is like, and I know that many modders do that, instead of leaving the leg like that, you know, in a kind of already in a context or in a pose, which is already tilted and all, they'll just like take this and then so just like not move it on the side, but they'll move it in the center. Just gonna bring back the ground. I'll try to align it. Yeah, one of the thing that, you know, that might be like something stupid, but I did my research recently and I just, because it was so annoying me, it's when you go to Gizmo, because I just ate that Gizmo, you can go like next Gizmo, which, okay, and you can swap them, you know. Some of them are quite cool actually, and I kind of wonder on which one I'm gonna settle. Maybe this one. Yeah, I think I'll try this one. So the only thing I'm not sure is like when you go to preference and then you save it, you do start config. I'm not sure if it will remember it for the next time, but yeah. So okay, I'm gonna put it there. I'm gonna remove symmetry. And then I'm gonna add. I just like put symmetry back on it. And then I'll do my zero measure. We'll go for 5. So basically, it will symmetrize while remeshing my parts. And now, like you see, it's all the stepping. It's all jaggy and ugly. I'll go with the H polish. Just clean the even surface. and then go polish. And right now, the more it got polygons, the harder it is like to polish them. So maybe what you want to do is like we'll go for 1 this time. So I'm just gonna trigger the topology. So basically what I'm trying like to aim for is really like to get that perfect topology that follows like the edge. And like you see, like right now that's an issue. Right now that's an issue. So I'm gonna go F. Better. So I'll work in symmetry. Just gonna take a look at the concept. So you guys got like New Year's resolution for like sculpting, like projects you absolutely want to tackle or skills you want to acquire. What's your resolutions? One of the things that I plug back and I'm probably gonna try like later is called it's this thing. It's called like a Shuttle Express. I used to have that like in my stuff and I never really you know try it out. But it's basically it's got like a wheel. Well, maybe I should show it again. Got like a wheel that you can spin. So I guess like I could put like my focus and brush size on them. And I was hoping to use the button as a like to start application, but yeah, it seems like it's so limited, so I could not do that. So and I'm gonna do half again. So see, like starting to slowly have like a shape that looks like cleaner and cleaner. And of course, I can always like do. You need to watch out with those. It becomes cleaner there, but like I'm kind of lose like the whole the tips. So maybe in between. Oops. Okay, so we'll go for this. So like you see like in the concept, I'm like working at the bottom part, so it's like the V shape kind of just wanna yeah, by the way, I'm looking because I don't know why, but I found this like in my stuff, but I guess like a while ago I actually printed the thing, so don't be worried if you see me like looking down. It's because I'm looking at that page, which for some reason I kind of like looking at that page instead of the reference second monitor, but yeah. So I think I'll go for that, and then I'll try to find the thickness that I want. I think this could be cool. And if it's not what I want, I can always like isolate the rest and then move it. Yeah, this new widget, I still need like to get used to it. So Yeah, I think I got something funky going here. I'll okay, and then just so how's the comments? Am I missing something? Uh, Aries Lopez asking to be a character artist. What software do I need to know? In this day and age, like if you're talking about like a video game, I suppose, since that's what I'm doing as a day job. I wouldn't speed like for the VFX just because, well, I got like a good idea of what those guys are using, but since I'm not in the field, I would rather not like speak too quick. But basically, yeah, for character artists in games, you need like to know, I would say like a Zbrush, Max or Maya, Marvelous Designer, Substance Painter, and if possible, Substance Designer. And is there something else? Well, if you know Unreal, that's a big plus because many of the engine, even if they build up like their own engine inside, like the mindset and how they work, it's pretty much similar. So I would say like that's pretty much like the biggest one I can think of. I might be missing something though, but yeah, if I think about something else, I'll just say it later. Um, so to go for 3. I'll be extra careful. I'm just gonna smooth it out. Saving. So zero mesher only does active subtool then. Yes, it will only zero mesh the active subtool, not like the whole subtools. Only like the one that you got over there. So um, but five hours a week, it's a lot, man. It's seriously like, that's great. I think like if I could practice 5 hours a week, that would be so awesome. Because that's the thing is, like it's even if I'm like a video game artist, I'm not like in ZBrush as much as I would like. Like sometimes it can be take like months before I head back to ZBrush, just because they got so many other processes. And in the end, like I'm not shipping like a ZBrush model. I'm shipping like an in-game um, asset, and yeah, with retakes and all sort of different things. Since our characters are in motion and they deform with animation and stuff like that, plus the shading part and all that stuff. It's yeah, it can be like a quite quite intense. How long you can head back to the ZBrush. So that's another thing. Like right now, like you saw, I was like subdividing it, but over there it was like kind of melting. So I'm adding like a crease right there, right there. But yeah, like these days, like what I love games and I love the technology part of it, like where it's going and all. But to be honest with you, I think like the VR thing, like with the Olympus medium and even like that old 3D printing thing. I think that's these days that's the one thing that just like it's breath of fresh air. So that's definitely something I really enjoy. So even more than developing games sometimes. Okay, so like you saw, you know, when I subdivide, it keeps like all my creasing. So I got like this really sharp, nice volume. So, and of course, like if I wanted like to have something more spiky at the bottom, I could always like, you know, go. I'm putting the wireframe because it's a lot easier like to go to see like where my polygroups are. And I'm just gonna undo as I said the last time. And yeah, I'm just gonna put the crease there. So see, so at least like I get it holds like better the pointy. Same thing with the top. I can, and I'm not doing not much right now. I'm only like putting crease, subdividing, looking if it works, and see like even like stuff. Sometimes that's why you like it's. I guess it's a force of habit, like something that comes up with time. But you see like right now, like I got like this creasing coming in. It's not much, and but when you well, it's not much, but you feel it quite a bit. But when you're subdividing it, it almost like disappear, but it's still there. So for me, you know, like just to be picky and because I will know it, I will just like try to even this out. So when I subdivide it, I got, because to be honest with you, there's nothing more sexier than like a perfect art surface. So in the 3D world, I should specify. Um, so just want to be sure I'm not like missing out on any detail. And then I just saw like something. So yeah, just slowly. The reason why I'm doing like the I'm bringing it out like the edge like that, and it will just be for me like a reference for where I put my crease, to be sure that's where it's gonna start to be sharp. And yeah, so if I go back to wireframe mode, of course right now I don't have any crease, so I go back to 9 and it still remembers that edge mode is adding creases. And since I'm in symmetry, it adds creases on both sides. So I'll subdivide it more and then move this. Oops. I'm just gonna remove the, because it's kind of annoying, the floor. I keep seeing like that green stuff. Draw. Okay, so from there, so if you feel that, because like I've pulled out that shape, and of course like I kind of like wrecked a little bit of that surface, you can always like go back. I'm just gonna undo them because I want to remove the subdivisions. And you can always like but I would really put like a tiny value just to be sure I'm not like demolishing the surface, just to get rid of that. So see, a lot better. And right now, you know, you see like I go really picky, but yeah, you know, the level of pickiness really depends on you, how much time you're willing like to spend on this. Okay, so right now I just want to count number of V's. So I count 4 of them. You guys got like the same number? Or one of the reason why I'm gonna do what will be doing right now, it's oops, wait, it's still need like to find back my my buttons. Damn, I'm so rusty. I just want to duplicate my shape, so I think I'll go with this. Yes. Then right now, yeah, the reason why I do this and I don't create like separate subtools per V, I'm gonna show you in a moment. So I said 4, right? So the reason why I like to do that is basically because after that I can easily control the overall shape of it. So I'm still like a subdivision 0, but if I need like to move them as a whole, it's a lot easier to manipulate all of them at once instead of going like one by one. So I can keep like a real nice flow to them. So I'm gonna leave it like this for now. So since I'm working in the middle right now, I can just rip this thing, and I'm not gonna work in symmetry though. And once again, I'm gonna do an extract, except then I can hide the rest of it and only keep that. Yeah, constantly looking at the references, just want to be sure I get this right. So how's the question are going? Okay. So actually finish work. That's one of the resolution. Like Leo Art said, one of his New Year's resolution is just like to finish work worth putting in your portfolio. But yeah, I mean, like doing something messy and something that will doubt yourself is clearly like some of the. That's one of the things I told myself, anyways. That it's clearly like it's because you're learning something. You know, the reason why it's hard in the struggle is like because you're actually going against a challenge, which is a good thing because the more you stay in the comfort zone, the more you're not challenging yourself and you're not growing. And I firmly believe that it's like through challenge that you will grow the most or the fastest. So I think it's it's good to be doubting yourself and even like to this day, like sometimes even me, like there's like stuff and I'm just like, oh man, how the hell am I going to tackle this? But you know what, every time I just keep at it, you know, like grinding it, like just sculpting and sculpting, and after a while it kind of falls into place. It always like comes out like something cool. The only thing I tell myself is just that I just need like to spend more time on it. That's all. It it will something cool will come out of it. But yeah, I just need like to give myself the time to make it happen. Which is sometimes like it's yeah, to get like back in that zone and be right now I'm not looking at any particular anatomy. I'm like winging it, but one of the things that I'll do is like and that's one of the that might be weird, but one of the ways to practice my anatomy is like instead of just looking at a book or only like always having a reference next to me, um, I'll try to wing it as much as I can. And once I'm done with my session, which is like basically at the end of that stream, I will go over my book, like, or maybe like one or two books, and then I'll look, in this case, like I'm looking at the lower leg, I will just look at a book and then compare what I did to how you should be doing it, and then I will kind of cross-reference with what I did, or like different books. Well, maybe usually it's like 2 or 3 books maximum. I don't want to be spending like too much time on this, but sorry, I was starting to be dry. But it's like it's basically it forced me to think more about what I see more than like a just like a robot copying what I because I feel like overall I carry more of the info as a baggage for later. And yeah, it's I don't like stopping while I'm sculpting to break up my flow just to get a reference or see where I'm going. I think it's more efficient when you just go at it and then you kind of find your way. But I think this comes like with a lot of memorization of anatomy and part, and by splitting only the parts that you've been working on, I think it's easier to come around. So right now I'm just gonna continue on the side. And by the way, there's like many ways to I'm seeing how I proceed, but like I'm definitely conscious that there's like many ways to tackle the subject, which is mine is just like another way, nothing more and nothing less. And I think to really find which best way to learn it is really like try new things. It's just like try new things, try new ways to learn it. Like many teachers got like different ways to learn or teach anatomy, and usually I need like to go through many different books to pick up different things because for some reason some stuff stick in some books and other books it doesn't stick, or it's like it's different part of the human body that sticks. So one other thing that you can try out too is and this could be like a good example. um, I like to use it from time to time. Where's my, okay. You go into the gear and you go for, just need to remember what's the name for it. Deformer soft, I think. Just gonna check. Deformer, yeah, which is like a lattice box. And what's cool about it is like you can mask only one side. Well, I don't know if you can actually use symmetry, but come on, dude. Okay, this adds like subdivisions to your thing. So that's the smoothness, symmetry. That's it. So I can, for some reason, it seemed like Gizmo was like kind of confusing me, but I can still, I can taper the. And I didn't check, but I'm sure that maybe there's like a taper somewhere. But still, you can. Right now, I'm not saying it's the best way to do this, but it's. I've just like thought of it, so why not show it? I not necessarily use that, but that's certainly like a way to do things. And that's another thing. Right now, like I'm as much as I'm showing like you guys stuff, it's a great way for me like just to change it up and then try other things that I'm not like less use it, even if I know that they exist. It's always like that kind of mindset of getting out of the comfort zone and force myself to try new things to do stuff just to see if it sticks. So relaxing. You like my voice? You know, it's there's not much chatting, and so I guess you guys are all listening to my very white voice. It's after 9. You know, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper up until the end of the stream. So be ready. You know. Okay, it's coffee break. So let me just. Oh, that was quick. So did I answer everybody? Uh, when you start using ZBrush, oh, that's man, that's a while ago. I think it was in 2004. I'm tempted to say, or 5, around that. That's pretty much. So I don't even want to count how many years that's been. It's like what, like 14, 14 years. Wow, that's yeah. It's yeah. Shit, I'm so old. Eh? Thank you for that. No, I'm just kidding. I assume myself completely. It took me 14 years to understand how the software works. But even like with that 14 years, there's still stuff that I'm not even aware about. Believe it or not. But I love it though. It's one of the softwares that I feel like it's so innovative and so like it's the way that we create stuff. It's and by the way, it's not like a paid advertisement or anything like that by Pixelogic, but it just feels like it's. I never like was super attracted when I was like younger to clay sculpting. I thought it was amazing, but all the craftsmanship to to be able like, to create something as cool as those guys were doing was just like, man, I was like completely this is so out of my league. Like it's, and I will not just like spend so much time trying to figure this out to do something quick. I didn't have like the patience back then. But that's the cool thing with digital tools. You get access to stuff that you couldn't in the physical world. Stuff like undo, stuff like copies, layering, morph targets. Like it opens up like a whole lot of possibilities, which I would like completely, which I completely fall in love with it. Oops. So if you're wondering why I'm sketching up the those things, it's just like to get like a feel for it before I duplicate them. I'm not sure like the thickness of the bandages is thick enough, and I don't want it like to look basically like that. So what I'll do is like I'm gonna try to find like the right thickness that looks cool and it's like closer to the reference. So that's why I kind of like put it in and didn't move the, because that's one of the things when I go like to this step, I moved it like a little bit like earlier, but I try not to move it too much because it will just destroy the surface and it will even like the thickness and all. So I would rather like do like a rough sketch like this, play around with it as much as I like, and when I'm happy with it, then commit and just extract, clean it up, and then put it along. So, any other New Year's resolution from you guys? It's for me, I would say, oh yeah, I mentioned mine already, right? But I love to actually be a lot more efficient to a designer. One of the things that I want to really push for, and I'm gonna try like to make it happen, is like to be able like to create shapes with like A/B tessellation and stuff like that. We see that more and more like on our station, and from that, once I found like some kind of crazy detailing and stuff like that, use them as alphas or noisemakers or brush, or basically leverage Substance Designer to work for me in Zbrush. I think that could be like something pretty cool to try out. So yeah, this is one of the thing. Outside of that, I like to test out a lot more of simulation dynamics for sculpting. So let's just say you want to do like fluids or stuff like that. Even just like any kind of gravity. Well, I mean already using Marvelous Designer, but I mean like it's outside of that. Like let's just say you want to do like a jelly monster, and how the jelly would behave. You just like simulate and then you freeze it, and then of course you can go back and sculpt around it. But I think that's one of the things that I don't feel a whole lot right now in the digital sculpting. It's all the weight from the characters. Like if they're in pose or like they're falling or something, you don't feel as much as the weight of the character. The character looks like kind of like not affected by gravity or weight. So it's something that I like. And even that's the thing. Like even if I would do it like in simulation, maybe like I wouldn't use it as sculpting, but more as a study to understand how it creates like that kind of feeling. So you guys are still there? Am I talking to myself or am I going crazy? Yeah, but even like for 3D printing, there's like stuff like having like hollow shapes. That's not like great for casting, molding and casting, but having like hollow shapes or a character that got like hollow or like just like a root kind of monster, which like the center could be like totally empty, like having like a lot of negative shape into the sculpting and then printing this out. I think there's like still amazing stuff like to be done, and that's one of the thing I hope like the new PC hardware will be able like to make me achieve that kind of stuff. Well, it will give me like the firepower to actually do it, and I'll do it with you guys. We'll do it like together. But yeah, if you got like any suggestion of stuff that how can we push the sculpting bar, just like I mentioned, like could be dynamics, could be even VR, like that's I still has yet to try it out. But I'm sure VR will bring something else as well, so why not experiment together? So I don't know what they were supposed to be, but I will have fun with them. So I think I'll go for this kind of thickness. Just gonna hide it. And one other thing I think I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna create like just like if those wings in the front are like kind of linked by an attachment, and that kind of thing is like converging to that attachment. So it's hard to explain, but I think you guys will understand it once I do it. So how's the question going? Uh, I don't think Marvelous Designer is a must, but because I know like some people uh, are really really good at clothing and they could actually like repeat the fold and stuff like that. But the question is always, and that's the saddest part about game production, it's always like cost versus efficiency, and if you can efficiently do folds that are like really really good without simulating or even like using scan. I know like like Battlefield, I think they're using like photogrammetry and scanning clothing, which they're retouching afterwards, but still like there's it's based on real clothing. Um, that's oh wait, no, that's wait, I just need like to concentrate a little bit. Um, I would still like recommend like knowing it. I think that's a great plus to have, and yeah, it can fill in for little things, and I think it's gonna become more and more present. I don't think it's getting away. I think it will get better and more efficient. So I think it's worth investing in, like investing your time. So okay, and sometimes another thing that I'll do is like wait, just gonna unhide because like right now it's like kind of confusing. Even if you got like a slight difference of color, sometimes I'll just trigger RGB and then fill object. So and then get back to white. So now it's like a lot easier to know how it looks. So I'm just gonna push it out just a little bit. So I'm gonna hide this for now. I'm gonna try to put them just like if they were meeting in the center, the leg. I think one of the artist part as a character artist, that's one of the thing like I'm constantly like fighting is like there's all the aspect of like increasing your skills and being like more efficient, more skilled, having like a stronger artistic eye and all of that stuff, and by practicing and even having like a strong visual library. But the thing is, the more you become good or efficient at it, like seeing stuff and artistically and then pushing yourself, the thing is, it's I guess you're seeing more and more, so there's like less and less stuff that fly by. But by doing so, the amount of time that you're spending on your sculpting sometimes increase drastically, and that's something that I'm always like fighting for. It's like I'm trying like to find ways to reduce my time of execution, and yeah. But the thing is, the more I sculpt, the more I guess like I develop my eye, so it becomes harder and harder like to be faster. Well, I guess like I go at a decent speed, but still, it's and of course like those streams it's quite awful time wise because that speaking slow me down quite a bit, but I enjoy it, so that's why I'm quite glad to do it. So just to be sure. One of the great thing with the smooth tool, when you got like open faces like that, it will your border of points won't move. So well, it just moved right now, but most of the time it doesn't. It's not supposed to. It's probably because I got a triangle. So that's the way like to evens out the surface. I think I pushed it in like a little bit too much. Okay, then just gonna get and the last zero mesh, just because I didn't like the topology in there. So right now it's a lot more cleaner. So this time though I'm gonna duplicate it. Should I? I think I'm gonna still duplicate it because I'm gonna show you something. If you ruin your mesh, I will not do it as of like in this second, but hopefully before I finish the stream, basically I'll just like bring back the, because in the end, since everything is on a poly group, and even if you, I don't know, I think I'm gonna show it right now. It will be easier. Okay. By the way, I didn't mention it, but yeah, if you wanna keep track of what I'm doing and my latest print and my even like the stuff I'm learning right now, the books and tutorials and stuff like that, or like other artists, or just like my sculpting in general or projects, you can always like follow me on the, you see at the bottom of the stream there's like the social media anchor name, so basically per social media, so whatever floats your boat, if you get like a favorite one, then you can always like look up to those links. And yeah, basically, but I'm just to tell you, like I'm mostly active on Instagram and Art of Seb, basically Facebook, the Seb Giroux sculpt, and Twitch, and it's gonna come back for sure. But right now I'm trying to rebuild that old social media approach just to have like something with quality. So right now I'm betting a lot on Art of Seb and Instagram. I mean like Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, I will come back definitely. I just don't want to have something that look awful. Well, I'm talking and I'm not even like paying attention to what I'm making. Sorry, guys. Okay. So yeah, so let's just say you went in for this, and then you went in, and then you did that, and then that, and then you started like to, for some reason you made it like super tiny, and I'm just gonna see, like I just like destroy like the surface, and you just like, oh no, and then you subdivide it, and of course it shows, it's not that pretty, and for some reason you just group mask. See, like right now I got like one poly group for everything, and I'm just like, oh no, I wanted like to go back to my purple outside mesh. Well, there's like many ways to do this. So first off, like maybe I don't want to keep like those three. I wanted to keep like just like this last one. So one thing that I'll do like an order group, which it will group by elements. So I'm isolating only this one by pressing Control Shift and isolating. And I'll go to delete hidden, which is geometry, mesh topology, oops, mesh modify topology, and then delete hidden. So yeah, once I did that, then I need to redo my polygroups, but I won't actually start isolating them by hand. Right now it's easy, I could always like go and use the face and then do polygroup and polyloop, and I can like easily like recreate that. I could isolate this, delete it, and then do a nodal group, which I'm gonna, well, basically delete it, just look by here, and then oops, since he sees them like it as two separate mesh because I the other one, then if I do like a nodal group, it will create like two different subgroups, but that's not what I want. So you can whoops, wait. So in this case it's easy because the topology follows it, but in many cases the topology won't be as clean as that. So what you can do is go to polygroups and then go to group by normal. Usually my favorite value is like 25. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then go 30, and then you'll find it at some point. But see, already, if you look only at the yellow part, I can isolate it. Ta-da! I actually got only that yellow part. I don't really mind if I like other polygroups or other angles, because like I've said, I kind of wrecked the whole thing. But I can do like this, and then delete it, and then if I go back, I'm exactly where I left off, just before that whole thing. So maybe if you didn't get the whole thing, don't worry, this video will actually end up on Twitch, basically video archive on Pixelogic, and if not, then it's gonna be on the Pixelogic website. Well, Pixelogic website. I mean like the YouTube Pixelogic YouTube channel, and basically usually it takes like a day or two before after like I did it for them to upload it. But yeah, so yeah, if you're wondering what I did, feel free to go back and rewatch it again. So, and yeah, for panel loop, usually it's like if I want to add like a soft border, I'll put 1, and the more I increase this, the more it will be harder because it will keep my crease along subdivisions longer. So in this case, since it's supposed to be a kind of leather cloth, I'm gonna keep 1 and then increase by polygroup and then subdivide it. What's happening in the front? I got a polygroup over here, so don't worry. Press 9. I got increases. Well, I'm gonna keep it still because it's gonna be hidden by another piece of geometry, but yeah, so see, I still got like that, same thickness all around. And of course, if you need to move it, you can always like go back to first subdivision, then move it. It's always like more responsive and easier to control. And like I said, if you actually destroy your thickness, you can always like isolate, delete it again, and then redo it. So it's kind of can be practical. So I'm just gonna bring back those. So I can always like do this, move it, well, wait. I go like a big brush because usually it's easier to move stuff without destroying them, like changing the thickness. So I'm like trying to give myself a chance, not redoing it, just because once again it's for the sake of time. If I destroy it a little bit, it's then the end of the world, but yeah, I just like try to minimize damage. One other thing that you can do, since I'm tapering like the top, this should help. You guys are still there? It's you know, in 5 minutes everything is over, but don't worry, I'll be back on Mondays, same time, same hour. If you cannot be there, like I've said, like there's like video on demand um, on the Twitch and YouTube of Pixelogic. Um, if you got like other questions or stuff you like me like to show off next time, then feel free to poke me and ask over the social media. Just like just put like a at my name and I will probably like be able to reach you out. So see, like right now, that's an issue right now. I could like go in and then try to isolate everything, but it might take forever. So I'll do in those cases, well, first off, get out. I'll go into brush menu, go for masking, topology, and then that's the thing. Like right now, you will only look at topology. So if I'm clicking this, see, I can push it, but I'm not affecting. So this right now, I just need like to pick up the right one. So even if I go big, I'm still not affecting. It's normal if when you do it, it's slow down the brush. If you got like many subtools, that might be like lagging, but yeah, it's a one way to do it without affecting other meshes. So it's a great way if you wanna, like I do, because since I'm gonna be 3D printing this, I don't wanna leave like any gaps. So I would rather like have like meshes that go a little bit through each other like this, because you always like try to remove as much as gaps as you can. And even like cavities, like a concave kind of a shape, even this, you know, you see like a concave shape in it. I'll try like to remove it. I don't want it smooth too much because such a on a low res mesh that it will affect a lot. So I'll wait like probably up until I get like higher subdivisions to do it even more. So see, like just like to isolate this in duplication, I will auto group. And yeah, if you want to copy them like I do, you need like no subdivisions for it to work, because if you do, then it won't work. Well, I know there's like a bug that it might work still, but yeah, it was like kind of crashing, or I had like other issues, so I don't recommend you doing it with subdivisions. You'll have like probably better result without it. That's the that's the practical thing of having like an under shape. I can still follow. Like I'm not really paying a lot attention of the overall silhouette. Of course, I'll check from time to time, but I mean like I can still like follow pretty much the shape underneath, like that piece that I've sculpted quickly, and still retain like some kind of decency in it. So that's why, you know, sometimes it's good to have like a rough anatomy, but you know, I wouldn't like spend like you know, so much time on just having like the perfect lower leg, because in the end with the wraps and everything, you might not feel it as much. But and the more, of course, you know the leg anatomy, the closer you can get right away without looking in the book. So yeah. So, and at the same time, it's like it always depends on how skin tight the whole outfit is. If it's something more loose then, or more rigid, then I guess it's more forgiving for anatomy. So I'm in overtime right now. So before I finish, you guys got like any questions left? Yeah. Once again, it was like a slow kind of progress, but hopefully, I hope it wasn't too boring, and I hope like you guys had the chance to sculpt at the same time as me. I always feel it like motivating when I know that other artists are like sculpting at the same time as I do. I feel it's more like kind of a gathering of artists than like teaching or showing whatever, you know. I always feel the need to explain myself like why I do stuff or how I do them, but yeah, I really like the company, so it's been awesome, guys, and I'm just gonna bring this back in. So just before we finish, I'm gonna yeah, I'm just gonna try to like something more pleasing. Just remove this. And maybe yeah, maybe this could work. So just for fun, I think I'm gonna leave it there. But yeah, like this week, I'm a little bit busy, but I'll try like to actually like work a little bit more on it. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming it. Like you guys, well, let me know if you want me like to stream it. I'm gonna be probably working on the mornings over here, but yeah, I'll be like working more on this, and yeah, just to go like a little bit faster. I just feel like this sculpt has been dragging on forever, so I'll just like to have it more advanced and then start like showing you guys how I do my slicing and keying and how I split my parts, and then maybe we can even go as far as doing like the supports and slicing and all that stuff. So and, yeah, and right now like that's one of the things like I wouldn't what I'm showing you right now. It's really more for the liquid resin, UV resin, more than like FDM filament, just because like I'm a lot less I know a lot less about the whole thing, so I wouldn't assume like that this stuff works for both, which in you know it should, but yeah, I don't want to say it. I'm too shy. So so if I bring back my just before I wrap this up. So wait. Yeah. Right now, my one of the things that I'm clearly missing out versus like the concept is the whole silhouette. Wow, I just don't wanna let it go and stop the stream. But yeah, it's like because now legs and all like there's a lot of like even the stance and the concept. There's clearly something cool going on, which I don't definitely don't have it, and I feel like he's more like my guy, you know, you could just push him and he would like probably like fall back on the ground. But the one in the concept seems like to be like a lot more solid, which is definitely something I want to bring back more into mine. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like I've said, like if you want to reach out, feel free to do so. It was a blast having you live with me. And last question from Darius: How do you pose your model in Zbrush, especially when you want to push the gesture? Uh, I don't think there's like any big secret. How I do it is I'm just gonna save this quickly before I show you that and then destroy. everything. I just mask parts and then move them with the transpose. It's I know that some people use the Z spheres and do like some kind of rig, but yeah, it's and another thing that I will be using more and more, probably like in the upcoming future. It's just because right now it's kind of rough and dirty, but that might be ideas for you guys. It's like I know that right now I saw like on Gumroad like really good rigs um, that are just like giving away like for free. So basically, what I might do would be, let's just say like I sculpt this, well, or it could be like just a naked body, like a naked male or female with the proportion that I kind of like. Um, and then what I'll do is like I will just um, cut parts like the forearms. I would just like extract it, and then I would try to go as low res as possible. But yeah, cut this, and then I will only like parent those separate parts to the bones, and then I would, because one of the things that I like working with a rig to pose the model is like you're not modifying like the length of the limbs or even like the proportion. You can still be in pose, you can like still find like a lot of cool things, but you're not like deforming it, which is the issue with this is like if I just like go ahead and then oops go ahead like and start like rotating stuff. Well, first off, right now like you see like where it pivots, it's not like at the right spot. So first off, I can destroy some of the geo, which I assume I'll do. But my main concern right now is like keeping the proportion and then having like something cool and interesting, which is right now. If I just do this, it won't work. Sometimes it's even worse. I could go like that, and since it's asymmetric, you can move stuff with like the transpose. So imagine like by accident you start like moving stuff like that, and then already like you got like something that is doesn't even it's not even similar. So, but yeah, it's clearly something. I think I'm gonna put it down though. The rigging thing about the parenting and rigging. Of course, this step needs to be done like in probably like in Maya. Like you just you can do like a rough sketch like I did, and then split it apart. Yeah, the more I'm thinking about it, I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Like the next stream, I think I'm gonna prep this to have like some kind of cool pose, and I'm gonna show you guys how I do it with the rig. And yeah, we'll see like a different way to pose stuff without using the transpose, or because after that, when of course you cannot do that with like the clothing parts, but still like you can uh, like art surface part, you can just like move it without being afraid of being deformed. You can always like go the you can always like go like that, and then wait, come on, dude, try to be quick. So yeah, so if let's just say like my leg, that's what I'm gonna do probably when I want to move it back. Let's just say I want to move like all of this. Right now I'm kind of stuck like only using one subtools, but if I trigger this, it means like I'm using more than one subtools. And let's just say I want to use all of them except this one. I just like do like Control Shift and see like right now I'm using everything, even if the rest is actually visible. So that's why I manipulate multiple subtools. So maybe like the art surface, I will just duplicate it and go place it myself on the pose model. But yeah, so yeah, try it out if you guys didn't never like tried it before. I think it's one of the amazing tools. But yeah, and then like I've said, maybe perhaps we can find like some kind of crazy cool pose for this guy, and then we'll be able like to even like after that, like sorry I keep like jumping between thoughts, it's just because I'm thinking about it. But one of the things that you guys can look to into is if you're planning like to use drapery for Marvelous Designer, you can actually import like Morph Targets. So let's just say like I'm just gonna show you in full webcam before I cut it out. It's like let's just say like my arm. Basically, the way it works, it's we work in T-pose just like I do in my screen, which my arm is like completely straight. But when you go into Marvelous, what you can do with a morph target is basically you import your avatar, which is in the T-pose just like I am. But once you import the morph pose with like an arm bend like this, or whatever pose you want, like for the motion, let's just say like he's fighting, so you got like his fist up and like the arm bend like this. Well, basically you'll put your drapery on the model like that, like straight with the T-pose, then you import the morph target and then you press play, and then automatically the arm will start like to shift and then move like that. And you see what's happening with all my, right now it's not like super loose, but still, see like no folds, and the more I bend it, the more I see folds, and then it will stop like that, basically with the pose that you got. So after when you simulate like with higher, I guess, density of mesh, you will have like those wrinkles that are really specified for that kind of angle of my arm. So I mean, all your clothing might be like even more photoreal. So that's something else that right now the saddest part is like, I know I'm like, it's annoying and I keep repeating the same thing, but right now like my PC is like way too weak to show you like that kind of step in Marvelous. So I'll clearly put it down. But as soon as I finish my new build, that's clearly something I wanna show you. That after that, specifically for when we're like posing characters, something that we can leverage. So, but in the meantime, while I'm not like showing you how it's done, then you guys can take like quickly a look at on YouTube. I'm sure you'll find like if you type in like Morph Target and Marvelous Designer, you'll see what potential you can actually get from it. So yeah. Um, hey Simon. Uh, what? Are you serious? You want to know like how I create my folds in Zbrush? Well, um, right now like most of the time when I use it, I'm supposed to stop the stream, but it's because it's you, Simon, man, and it's been a while since I saw you. It's another fellow character artist that I used to work with at Ubisoft Montreal. He's now working on the game called what's the name called again? Not legendary, not legendary, but Ancestors. Yeah, Ancestors. The game that we saw at the E3 at the Panache. So yeah, so basically what I'll do is like I'll use the standard with the AccuCurve, and sometimes I'll create like folds like that with the negative and positive. There's a /3, which might be here too. That can help you out with that. /3. That's another one that I'm just gonna put. Well, it's more missing, but so you can. So and yeah, I kind of like smooth out like the tip of it, just to get like a little bit of the. See, and you can quickly start like finding folds. Um, Another thing that you might want to try, and that's one of the things you couldn't do before, but since now we got this thing. Okay, I'm just gonna oops, just gonna delete um, delete lower, and I'm gonna trigger this, because before it was R like to build volume, but now you're starting like to be yeah, it doesn't really work well right now, but yeah, basically what I wanted to do, and right now like the leg is not the best part to show that, but like clothing, oftentimes there's like one thing that it's happening. Maybe I'll go like full screen just to explain you, and then I'm gonna sculpt it really quickly just before we finish. But like the folds basically on the clothing, especially like if you look at the over here, we wait, I'm gonna try to show you that. So, well, basically that wrinkle, it kind of like do like some kind of balloon, and it kind of roll over like my other folds. And that kind of detail, usually before, that was like quite hard because you couldn't really add like geometry. You could do like a zero mesh, but it will do like a zero mesh all along the arm. And now, in a way, you can actually do it with the sculptress. So, wait, so I'll just like isolate this and delete it. So let's just say we go for this. Not saying it's easy to do, but and then what you could do would be go inflate. It's not super pretty, but I think you guys get where I want to go with this, because from there like you can actually add geometry. But once again, like for the 3D printing purpose, I wouldn't like push too much inside of it, because if you're just like planning to print it, it's alright. But if you're planning to do molding and casting, that could be like a place where you got like issues if the shape like goes too much like that, you know, basically. And then let's just say like comes like this, because when the silicone goes in and then you want to pull it out, it might like rip off. So yeah, I would like try to keep it more. You can push a little bit, but I wouldn't like push it too far. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope Simon, this is like an answer your question, and I hope your baby is all right. It's Remy, right? So yeah, glad to have you live. So I hope to talk to you next time, next Monday. And man, we should definitely catch up. It's been so long. You probably got like this white beard and white hair now because you grew so old since the last time I saw you. So so enough of that. Thank you guys. See you next time.